Okay, a quick pros and cons video on this 2022 Hyundai Sonata Limited with the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. If you haven't seen my full in-depth review on this car already, it will be linked in the description box below, along with my 2021 Elantra review and my 2020 hybrid Sonata review as well. Okay, let's get started. The first pro is actually going to be this 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. This is much quicker than what the numbers would suggest. Makes about 180 horsepower and 195 pounds-feet of torque. It should take regular fuel, at least that's what it says on the Hyundai website. Well, actually, sorry, it just says unleaded on the Hyundai website, but I'm assuming it means it can take regular. But you step on it, this thing will start to reach speeds rather rapidly. I think it does 0 to 60 in around 7.5 seconds. Again, the numbers don't do this vehicle justice. Around town, you are pretty much instantaneously hitting 45-50 miles an hour, which is fantastic. Even out on the highway, this does some healthy speeds. Of course, once you start reaching the triple-digit speeds, then the power begins to die out, but that's totally acceptable for the power figures that this car is working with. The 8-speed automatic transmission also does a decent job in reacting for a vehicle of this class, so that's also well done. I unfortunately have not driven the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, but apparently the power figures are almost reversed because it's naturally aspirated and it produces 191 horsepower and 181 pounds-feet of torque. Again, I haven't driven it, but that leads me to a pretty severe con when it comes to these Hyundai vehicles with a lot of power, and that is every time you make a right-hand turn, left-hand turn, whatever turn, this thing constantly overpowers the front end and the front tires. When you have the wheel cocked and you floor it, makes you look like an idiot every single time. It is just squealing like crazy and you look like a complete idiot. So that's very annoying. And obviously there is no limited slip differential. That would be the solution to that particular problem, but don't expect that for normal cars in their lineup. In fact, I don't even think the N-Line version gets an LSD. Definitely stay away from the N-Line products, at least for the foreseeable future, because they are not going to drive well. I hated the way the Elantra N-Line drove. It's these regular models that Hyundai Kia really nails, and that's where you're going to find the most satisfaction as well driving it. Even this, with the 18-inch wheels and 235 wide tires, it's not putting down its power very well. So I guess the best thing you can do is put ultra sticky all-season tires on here, maybe like the Michelin Pilot 4 tires, and just hope for the best. Right now we have the Pirelli P0s on here, but it's got 5,700 miles on it. Maybe those Pirellis kind of wore out badly and they kind of lost its grip from when it was new. Who knows? Whatever. But that's going to be the major con, and really my only con driving this vehicle. Another pro is going to be just how quiet this vehicle is. It utilizes double pane glass, and also it's only when you get up to like 75 miles an hour when you start to feel that wind buffeting effect. Otherwise, this is so quiet, tranquil, serene. It is a driving experience that's going to really lower your blood pressure. And part of that also has to do with the excellent ride quality and the neutral handling demeanor. So that's going to be the next pro. I like the way they have the suspension tuned in this. The 18-inch wheels is a good balance. I hate the SEL Plus package. That technically would have been the cheapest way to get this 1.6 liter. It's only $2,000 cheaper. But the problem with that model is you get 19-inch wheels. So the fully loaded Limited gets 18-inch wheels, and it rides great with this tire and wheel setup. The SEL, the regular model with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, will get 17-inch wheels, which would ride amazing as well. Also, yes, I said that, when you rip it and when you really floor it, making a left-hand turn, right-hand turn, the front end is constantly peeling out, and when you're just driving it casually, you begin to notice just how nimble it feels and how light on its toes it really is, and just how it pivots around turns. Like the chassis and the body structure of this is really well executed. It's just missing an LSD because it's just not putting down its power properly. That's the main issue. Okay, another major pro is just how much character this interior space has, and also how much character the exterior has. It definitely gets a lot of looks and stares. That's not to be disputed. It has a very exotic and unique look, so that's great. But also the interior continues that as well. Far more of a fun place to spend time than the Toyotas and the Hondas, that's for sure. The Mazda is kind of the next vehicle that has an amazing interior, but this has character, which is what I like. It has this dual-toned interior thing going on with the cognac and with this, I feel like it's a dark blue color. I don't know, it could just be black. Regardless, it looks great in here. Now I get it, this is the fully loaded limited for around $35,000. Get the SEL with the convenience package for around $28,000 and you should be happy. So I like the character, I like the ergonomics, I like how easy to use everything is. But one con about this interior is his use of piano black plastic in the center here, already scratched up, looks pretty disgusting. I don't like that. But fortunately, it's just limited to this one little strip here, so that's good. Another thing, I don't like how there's no one-touch up and down windows for the rear windows. Very bizarre. Also, another con with this interior, the mirrors don't fold in automatically or electronically. That's also very stupid, especially for the limited trim like you see here. Another pro of this is it's very spacious, good amount of cubby spaces, places to put your phone, and the rear seat space is decent. I'm 5'11", getting in and out of this is easy. No, it's not like a Maybach or anything, but it fits adults comfortably and it's fine. The trunk space is massive. There's a spare tire back there as well, which certainly helps, and you can fold down these seats 60/40. Now another con, which I think Hyundai has fixed, is the windshields. They used to crack and break all the time, and I think Hyundai recently released a recall for some of the older Hyundais because they have a potential to detach or something like that. I don't know. For this 2022, things seem to be solid. There's not a crazy amount of noise coming through the front end of this. So I think it's fixed. I think it's put together properly. Let's hope that there's no crazy chipping issues or anything like that. But for the most part, this is absolutely a vehicle I would personally consider driving. Is it superior to the Mazda 6 or the Honda Accord, two cars that I personally consider to be one of the top of its class? No, it's not quite as good. Those cars are technically better, but as I already mentioned, this has a very unique and satisfying driving characteristic that I think most people will come to appreciate. It's very different, very nuanced, and I really like it. You're just happy driving this on a day-to-day basis. It's just hard to explain, but that's just how it is. Another thing, you typically get more for your money when you go with the Hyundai Kia product. Even if it begins to cost almost the same as some of the Toyotas and the Hondas, you'll typically get more for your money, more options, if you will. Another vehicle to really consider in the Hyundai Kia lineup is the Elantra. Very affordable, has a lot of the same characteristics that this has, just a little bit smaller, but you can save a lot of money when you go with that particular model there. Also, the real world fuel economy of these vehicles, it pretty much matches, sometimes even exceeds what is on the paper here. 27 on the highway, 27 in the city, 37 on the highway. That's a pretty accurate figure right there. So the Elantra definitely carries that and is a little bit better because it's a smaller, more petite automobile. Hopefully this was valuable to you. Check out my full review. Thanks again for watching. Take care and goodbye.